Hi everybody, welcome back to Kim's class. Let's go ahead and look at today's objectives. Today's objectives say, I understand common vocabulary to describe actions in a sequence. The second objective says, I can tell a story using 4 different verb tenses. Those verb tenses we're going to do today are the simple present, present continuous or present progressive, simple past, and present perfect. What you're going to see is some stories. But before we talk about those stories, let's look a little more in detail about those 4 different verb tenses. The first verb tense we're going to talk about is the simple present. Then we'll look at present continuous or progressive, simple past, and then present perfect. On the screen, you're going to see timelines. This will help you understand when to use what type of verb. Let's look at the first type of verb, the simple present. The simple present is used to talk about habits, repeated actions, and scheduled events. We often use the word every day before we use this tense. For example, you see the sentence that says, Ken walks to school. That's a habit or something that he does every day. The next verb tense is present continuous, or sometimes known as the progressive tense. This is the tense that talks about an action that is happening right now. For example, I am talking. You are listening. He is studying. The third tense we're going to tell a story with is the simple past. The simple past is used to talk about actions that started and finished in the past. For example, he walked to school. And then the last tense, which sometimes can be a bit tricky, is called the present perfect. The present perfect is used to talk about a past action when we don't know exactly when it happened, so the time is unknown. For example, Julie has traveled to hundreds of countries. We often use the verb has or have before we use this tense. So what we're going to do now is look at a sequence of 6 pictures. We're going to talk about what happened in these pictures 4 different ways. Let's go ahead and look at our first story sequence. Now you will see a sequence of 6 pictures about Dawn. This is about Dawn getting dressed. First, I will tell the story in the simple present. Dawn buttons his shirt and zips his pants. Then he ties his tie and puts on his jacket. Next, he pulls up his socks and slips on his shoes. Now I will tell the story in the progressive or present continuous. Right now, Don is buttoning his shirt. He is zipping his pants and he is tying his tie. He is putting on his jacket. Now he is pulling on his socks and slipping on his shoes. Let's talk about Don getting dressed in the simple past. Yesterday, Don buttoned his shirt and zipped his pants. He tied his tie and put on his jacket. Then he pulled up his socks and slipped on his shoes. The last way we'll tell Don's story is in the present perfect. Don has buttoned his shirt. He has zipped his pants and he has tied his tie. He has put on his jacket and he has pulled up his socks. He has slipped on his shoes. That's the story about Don getting dressed in 4 different ways. So now that we've had some practice telling a story 4 different ways, let's go ahead and look at today's objectives and see how we did. Do you understand common vocabulary to describe actions in a sequence? I think you do. Can you tell a story using 4 different verb tenses? Can you tell the story in the simple present, in the present continuous, in the simple past, and in the present perfect? We've had some practice with that, haven't we? So for now, that's going to conclude today's lesson. But before you go, I'd like to ask you to do a few things for me, if that's okay. First, please like this video. Next, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way, every time I post a new video, you'll get a notification. I would also really like it if you would share this video with your family and your friends. The more people in Kim's class, the better. The last thing I'd like you to do, think of as your homework. In the comment section below, please write me a sentence. You can tell me something you do every day, or maybe something you did yesterday. You can even write me a sentence about what you're doing right now. So that's all I have for you today, class. Thank you so much for coming and joining me. And even more importantly, thank you for allowing me to come on this journey with you to learn English. Goodbye for now. I really hope to see you soon.